Well, hello everyone. This is Jamie Lewis, and I'm here with Dr. Keith Schaefer. He's in the other room, and he's formulating a series of questions that we want to help everyone learn how to stop gambling. We are making a change. We're doing this for the world. We're doing it for America and every civilized country in the world that has these types of problems. You might have the lottery addiction, the casino addiction, the crypto addiction, the stocks addiction, the cards and poker addiction, the sports betting addiction, or the biz op addiction. All right, so let's talk about all these different addictions. And hey, if you're in the chat, come into the chat. I'm going to help you guys, figure out this problem. And I'm going to give you some really good creative solutions because your wife is probably sleeping with the pool boy by this point and you're sleeping in the basement and it's like a very horrible cuckold situation because you spent all of the money gambling. And that's what this video is going to be about. I mean, here at the Life Doctor YouTube channel, me, my partner, Dr. Keith Schaefer, and Joseph Gallegos, as well as Bruce Horty, we're all here to help you. You will be hearing from them on this channel. We're going to be helping you with all these different addictions and all these different scenarios. I mean, and something I'll throw in before we get into all these gambling situations is, it's not your fault. Like, for instance, I always said, like, the one person you don't want to hang around are insecure people. All right. That's all. You could be broke, you could be rich, you could even be like a little rough around the edges, but insecure people, their foundation is flimsy. So you're going to run into problems no matter what with those people. So I think it's fair in me saying that, right? And a lot of those really nasty mental illnesses come from a foundation of insecurity anyway. So just, when we're talking about this type of thing, that sometimes can drive you to gamble. If you're hanging around someone who's insecure, try to pinpoint it. You know what I mean? But other than that, I was going to say, use the chat box because me and my partners would be very happy to help you. You know what I'm saying? And so without further ado, let me just go over these different gambling addictions. And yeah. All right. So first of all, the lottery is put out by the government. A lot of the time it's like a multi-state government operation and they make quite a bit of money and they kind of, you could say, oh, the money's going to go to the state. It's going to be a great thing. But a lot of the time they're preying on people who have an addiction. And they're ruining their lives. You know what I'm saying? Lottery can be a lot of the time a better scenario than some of these other gambling addictions that we'll go over. So, if you were going to gamble, I would say like maybe just a little occasional lottery ticket here and there won't hurt, but you know what I mean? Like a lot of the time, sometimes, some of those scratch offs are like $20 or even more. So, I would say like there's better ways of making money. If you're looking to get rich, like, this isn't what that channel is about, but, look up like some maybe affiliate marketing stuff or, some how to, write an ebook or something like that. Do something better with your time. All right. So, lottery, again, maybe the easier, the less egregious, a better situation, you know what I'm saying? But, still it's gambling. All right. The next thing is casinos. All right. We know those folks who go to casinos every day and they're, throwing their life savings in there and then they lose. And then they get you feel like you're in a hole and you just want to climb out of that hole. At that point, you're like, oh, I don't want to get rich anymore. I just want to make the money back because now I'm in trouble. What a toxic situation. Then you hear about someone who hit it rich or something. And now you're hard on yourself now. So, your dopamine levels are going on a roller coaster because, you lost because you didn't jump in, you had FOMO, and then you lost because you jumped in. All right. So again, there's all sorts of different gambling methods at a casino. You could tell I don't have a gambling addiction. You probably, if you do have a gambling addiction, you know more about gambling than I do. Right. So, but casinos, you can go in there and you can play the roulette wheel. You can play poker. You can do slot machines. You could do all sorts of craps. You could do all sorts of shit. it can be very sad if someone's addicted to it. All right. It's okay to go in there every once in a while and do like, try your best at $100 or $200 or something like that. But most people, I don't know, maybe you do have money, but most people don't have money to be thrown around like that. You know what I mean? All right. The next one is crypto. And this one is kind of easy to explain. All right. Basically, never buy crypto at an all-time high. That's usually where everyone buys it. Buy it when everyone is saying it's horrible. Okay. Like for instance, when it crashes and now it's at the bottom, sometimes what happens is now it's at the bottom and everyone hates it for like 2 years. Okay. Food for thought. So if you're into that, if you want to make money with crypto, you might want to either purchase after it's crashed. That's a little better than buying it at an all-time high. The worst thing you could do is buy it at an all-time high. Crashes, right? Did it get a little bit of momentum? Like, for instance, right now it's December 2024. It just popped off after 2 years. All right. The last year, it kind of gradually got better after 2022, which was horrible. So it got a little better, right? So now that it's gotten better, now after this election, it popped off like it did in 2017 and everything. So it popped off and Bitcoin went up to $100,000. All right. So now it's at $100,000. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's amazing. And then people start saying, oh, it's going to 400,000. Yes, it will, but it's going to crash first. It always does. So it'll go down to 40,000 or something like that. Once it goes down to 40,000, get it then, because then it's just profits. Like, there's never a day when you're losing money. If you buy it at 100, you lose half of your money. And it's going to be very, very, just the thought of you fell victim to FOMO and you got in at the wrong time is enough to keep you up at night. So, and I would just recommend to just wait until it crashes. Q1 should be great. All right. Be intelligent about it. Don't gamble. Don't use it to gamble. Just do your history, do your research into the prices and purchase these certain coins, whether it's Bitcoin or it's these smaller coins, purchase them when they are at a good price. All right. It's like when they're at a bargain. Like it's the same thing if you ran a restaurant, you wouldn't go to the fanciest supermarket ever to purchase your ingredients. You would buy wholesale so that you can make more profit with the restaurant. Like, so you could have good prices in your restaurant, but it's not like there wouldn't be any room for profits. Think of it that way. You're purchasing the coins at a good price. All right. So that's crypto. All right. It's easy to not fall victim to crypto. Okay. The next thing is stocks. It's very similar to crypto, but with stocks, there's a real story behind everything. Okay. It's very interesting. And so therefore it's not as volatile. A lot of the time you can just basically say to yourself, wow, that company is going to be awesome. I'll invest in that company. No brainer. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, Netflix 15 years ago would have been great. You know what I mean? Like, obviously that company is going somewhere. I know what you mean. Like, it's kind of hard to tell. Like, they were sending DVDs in the mail and stuff. It's kind of weird. But, obviously with someone with a brain could know that Blockbuster is going to be, you know what I'm saying? And Netflix is going to be, all right. So think of it that way. At least with stocks, you kind of understand what's going on, that it's not as volatile. It's going to be like that. All right. And also, who knows if Facebook was going to blow up, right? MySpace didn't. So I hear you there. That's why it's still a little bit like gambling if you don't know what you're doing. All right. Cards and poker. I know nothing about poker and nothing about cards. I am horrible. I don't like rules. And there's a lot of rules with poker, and I don't know why people like doing that at all. I don't get it at all. I don't even have anything to say about it. Just don't do that. All right. All right. Thank you. Sports betting. This is probably the stupidest thing ever to do, but sometimes it can work if you know your stuff. Sometimes you guys know, if you know your shit with basketball or something, I think it's more of like, if you're really informed, you might do well with it. You know what I mean? And then we have biz ops. This is like those get rich quick schemes that you see everywhere. All right. Like the guy with the red hat and talking in front of the ClickFunnels Awards. It's like buying one of his programs. No, I'm joking. But because I actually do a good, I wouldn't even call it a biz op. I do a class on how to, things like this, stop gambling and stuff. So, but I'll give you an example. A little old lady, all right, her husband dies and she finds out that he never did a will and she's like 80 years old. So these horrible, you know, um, demon type people in Las Vegas, they call her up and they say, if we can double your money for you and accept, you see where this is going. And so she's like, all right, well, how much money can I put into the tank or whatever? And well, how much could I make? And they're like, well, we can, if you put in, the more you put in, we'll make you more. All right. This is like one of those really horrible, predatory, boiler rooms or whatever. Right. And then so she puts in her whole 401k or whatever. I don't know if in that situation she would have one, but you get my drift. Oh, I have 20,000 from the home equity loan or whatever. And so then she puts in a 20,000 and they just steal the money. All right. Then here's the gambling part, right? The addiction part. She purchases another one. All right. And keeps thinking like, well, that one lost. Now I'm going to make the money back from buying coaching. Now I'm going to learn how to do this affiliate marketing thing. And then she's pays these very overpriced amounts, like for a course or to talk to some, 12, 18-year-old sitting in a cubicle in Las Vegas. And they charge her like 20,000 for coaching. And she's talking to this 18-year-old who doesn't know anything about what he's talking about. You got the drift. The addiction part is now she's going to go to this place called Warrior Plus. And now she gets on the lists on Warrior Plus. Now, Warrior Plus is like a magazine stand for biz ops. And so she purchases, this one by some guy named Tom Dickhead. And so Tom Dickhead puts out a little Warrior Plus product. She buys that. Then Tom Dickhead promotes someone else. And then in her email, she's like, oh, well, Tom said that someone else has something. And then she purchases that from this, John Dickhead. And then all these dickheads are selling her these meaningless things. And she doesn't know which one to do. And she's totally confused. All right. She's addicted now at this point. She's addicted to biz ops. All right. That's called biz op addiction. It's very hardcore and it's a very sad thing that happens. So whether you are a lottery addicted person, a casino addicted person, a crypto addicted person, a stocks addicted person, cards or poker addicted person, or a sports betting person, or a biz op addicted person, quit it. All right. Create something, create an ebook or something like that, and make money from that. All right. Or get a job. Maybe even it could be in the middle. Like you could build something like furniture and sell the furniture. So you go to Home Depot and you buy some studs and they're like $3 each. And you cut those studs and you create little chairs. And it cost you $20 to build one of these chairs and you sell the chair for $50. Do you see what I'm saying? So you can have a nice little carpentry business or something like that. So create stuff. That's how you make good money, is you create things. Working a job isn't going to work anymore because AI is taking everyone's job and replacing them. So you have to create things. That's the only way that you're going to be able to do something. The only other thing you could do if you're not creative is you could teach a course. Like you could, for instance, be a violin teacher and you could teach the violin with Zoom. And so you could do exclusive lessons. It would be like a half an hour each lesson or an hour. And it could be like 60 or 100, like $60 for a half an hour, $100 for a full hour. And you teach them your craft. So assess what you do, what your crafts are, and then you might, be able to kick some ass. All right. So thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you in the next video. We're going to actually do another addiction video on something that is plaguing a lot of Americans and other people in other countries. Like, all right. So I'll see you soon. All right. Thank you guys so much. And, welcome to the Life Doctor. Remember, keep coming and, jump into the chat box and we'll see you soon. All right. Thank you.